What's going on, guys? This is the DeFi Crypto Alliance show, also including my family this morning, it looks like, where we are doing our best. One second. We're doing our best to be the bridge between our fellow entrepreneurs and real estate investors to help those guys understand the opportunity in cryptocurrency, which we feel like is one of the most outsized asymmetric opportunities in a lifetime, and we couldn't be more excited to be here with you guys enjoying that experience. So welcome. We're pumped to have you. Corey, take it away.
Absolutely, guys. And sorry we're a little bit late today. We were on the Coin and Collective show with Eric. If you guys haven't been following Eric yet, he's trying to do what we're doing a little bit with. He's bringing real estate and crypto together. So go over and check out that show from this morning. Me and Dane dove a little bit deep into our story about how we got started in real estate and everything. So it was a great show. But Dane had alluded, he's right on, hit the nail on the head. We are doing our best to be your source where we're going to use crypto as a wealth creation tool and use real estate as that wealth preservation tool, and ideally change ours and our families' lives for generations. And we want to bring as many of our friends along for this ride as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Go check out Eric's show. He wanted a very real estate centric based show. We talked about some of the stuff we've never talked about here, which was fun. He kind of pulled it out of us, and so once again, you guys, we've hammered this home, but it's so important to have a plan so that you're not slaughtered in taxes when it comes time to take profits in crypto. And a lot of the time, a really good plan takes more than an afternoon or even a week or a month of planning. It takes some time to be able to really execute that well. So make sure that you're doing that. We gave some of our ideas in Eric's show. So yeah, heavily recommend going and checking that out.
Absolutely.
But today, I thought it would be a fascinating conversation to delve into a little bit and talk about how long, Corey, we might be in for as far as the crypto bear market is concerned, what some of these newer protocols being built on pulsechain could bring, and if there might be any of those that will actually outshine pulsechain. Now, once again, we don't give any financial advice on our show. Do your own due diligence, all that type of stuff. We could be totally wrong on the things that we say today, but I think it's an interesting conversation to be able to pick apart some ideas and theories. Have you guys give your input as well, and we could really sharpen our thinking and our understanding this morning. So this will be cool. So first, Corey, let's start with the length of the bear market. I know there's some people in the community, like Buck, for instance, that isn't a big believer in the Bitcoin cycles, or at least it being, maybe I'm saying that wrong, and a believer that they are a leading indicator as far as crypto as a whole, and other people that believe different things. I think it's interesting to consider. And so, how long do we potentially have in this bear market, in your opinion? When does a potential pivot occur?
Man, I think it occurs towards the end of September, maybe even all the way up through December, right? I think it can be anywhere in between that time frame. I think we're going to see somewhere in that area, and as crypto as a whole, there's always kind of like a front running of the Bitcoin happening where you see like this fake out pump, and then some people get wrecked buying into that. It's kind of a buy the rumor, sell the news. Events happen. Now, it could not happen again. It might not happen because the market might anticipate that. You just never know what the market might do. If enough people think it's going to happen, what does the market do? It will tend to do the opposite or do something completely different that you're unexpecting. The market's really good at that. And so who knows, man? But I think somewhere between September and December is when we see, whether we have bottomed within our ecosystem. I feel like Bitcoin's already bottomed. Who knows though? But like in our ecosystem, whether we have bottomed or we do bottom during that time, I think that's when we'll see it. And so it's very interesting to see. You got next year with everything on the horizon. You got the presidential election. You have CPI at 3% now with. I think we have an FOMC meeting this week. I think it's this week. We'll see if they if they hike the rate again. I think they might hike it one more time, and I think, man, they're going to hold it, is what I think. I could be wrong. I think they're going to hike one more time. I think they're going to hold it, and then going into next year, they're going to start lowering because, man, the presidential election's right there. And it's funny, man. Okay, so the Bitcoin halving, is that determine the market cycle or not? But it's funny how Satoshi Nakamoto came out and put the halving event somewhere, and it's not on a day, it's determined on hash rate, I guess, is my understanding. But it's always around the presidential election time. It's always around this time of year when the economy is going to kind of do its thing. Like, it's funny how that all played out all at the same time. And I don't know if that was intentional on his end. Maybe it was. So maybe it's not so much the Bitcoin halving that the market is reacting to instead of the macro events, which is what Buck talks about. It's just so happens the Bitcoin halving is there. And of course, crypto people, they're very short-sighted. And they think it's just because of the Bitcoin halving, right? So that's what they think. But I don't know, man. Plus, you have the whole Randy Holarski stuff that he talks about, which is the Shemitah and Jubilee. This is the end of the Jubilee year, which is September, and I think there's some merit to that. I really do, and so I think we're going to be seeing some good times. I know David Feeder thinks that we're going to have a bottoming Christmas gift, is what he thinks. Like we're going to see like this Christmas spring. They call that the spring in the chart, where it literally springs down and then it shoots. Then it's game on from that point on. It's the last opportunity for any accumulation. And so, I don't know. We'll see, man. But that's what I believe. And I believe, okay, here's another thing, too. Okay, I'm glad that you brought up the third parties. Because it's the third-party protocols that are going to give us the momentum that we need. To give us the eyeballs and adoption our ecosystem needs. If you guys didn't look up, Pitius is a new protocol that just launched. Well, they launched a few weeks back, or maybe a month back, but they just did a new. They're doing a sacrifice for their coin. They did a tweet, a very long-winded tweet about how pulsechain needs this, needs the adoption, needs these new protocols being built, needs the. This is the only way the eyeballs are going to come to our ecosystem. And how we're going to be able to, what do they need to get into our ecosystem? Well, they're going to buy Pulse. This is what they come in because they like something. They want to play with something and they stay. We need this. We need the building. And I feel like we're going to have I know we've talked about before, we're going to have our own little mini DeFi summer, if you will, when the Fetch Oracle goes live. Isn't it funny how that matches up with like the end of Jubilee year? It matches up like right towards the Bitcoin halving and all this stuff. Like it's playing out like perfectly in sync, and the timing couldn't be more right, in my opinion. So it'd be interesting to see what this little DeFi summer does for us with the Fetch Oracle coming on live. I know like PulsePop is coming, Mintra is coming. Obviously, we got the PH, which both me and Dane love, the PH set coming with Fiat and Famous. Love those protocols. We have Pitius. I actually like that protocol, and I know the PH team has been working a lot with them. So for me, it's like almost like they're going to be a small arm of the PH team. And so you have these protocols coming online left and right, and let's encourage it. Let's welcome it. We want to welcome these guys. Come build on pulsechain. Just because you don't like a protocol, okay, fine, don't participate, but let them build. We need the casinos. We need the degenerates. We need the leverage trading. We need all the garbage maybe we like. I'm not going to be pulling leverage on Famous, but I'll be staking Fame token and I'll be taking the other end of that. You can actually participate in what I think was called the PHLP token. I'm gonna be owning some of that. I saved a small bag of I remember when I sacked for Famous, I'm like, oh, I want that. I remember inquiring in the Telegram, like, hey, how do I get that? Can I sack for it? They're like, no, you'll have to buy it on launch day. I'm like, damn. Like, all right. So I wanted to make sure I saved some economic energy just for that side of the platform because I want to participate in that side of the platform. And so there's going to be so much rolling out, guys. Let's welcome it. that's going to be what's going to facilitate and start the fire, if you will, for pulsechain. I feel like we have a beautiful ecosystem, but man, the maximalism can crush it, can kill it if we let it get out of hand. And so we need to be careful about that.
You don't think we just need a chain with hex on it and that's it?
I'll tell you what, man, if that's all that ends up being over there over the long haul, in my opinion, I don't think pulsechain will make it, and I don't think hex will make it.
No.
That because what happens is the crypto economy or the market as a whole will see pulsechain as a failed layer one, and with that, I'm telling you, the faith in the faith in Richard Hart will be gone, and I think hex will be capitulated. And some people are like, "Oh, we'll all go back to eHex." Bullshit, you will. You're gonna go back in there, and it's gonna be nothing but red candles. I don't think that's gonna happen. I really don't. I farther from that. I think that, but let's keep that in the back of the maximalism. That's what that leads to. It really does.
Yeah,
no, hex just.
Well, and it's fascinating to look at the Bitcoin halving. So I mean, so here's a chart of Bitcoin. It's not the most up to date. I need to get a new one and update my slide here. Yeah. This is a slide deck we use to help real estate people kind of get a grasp on crypto and what's going on. And you can see here, each one of these white lines is when the Bitcoin halving is, and what happens, at least so far, after each one of these, the market goes and it does what it does. It goes and it appreciates really hard. And so, theoretically, if the market were to be, continually using these cycles as indicators, the next halving will be March or April of next year. And so I'm with you. I think that I wouldn't be surprised if we saw, we didn't see anything real exciting until early next year. And like you said previously, one of the biggest indicators for presidential re-election is you need to have a strong economy. The only election cycle where a president went up for re-election and had a strong economy during their first term was President Trump. Otherwise, everybody else is undefeated. If you had a strong economy during your first presidential, presidential run, then you were reelected the second one, and I think that's a really big deal. And so, the end of 2024 is when we have the next presidential election, at least for the United States. And I think that the Biden administration can't help but loosen up things. I think that the Fed will loosen up things. I think you see the money printers come back on. And frankly, I think we see more downside this year so that they can afford to do that. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw them raise clear through the rest of the year, just because they need to get it up there in order to have more room to cut, in order for it to look like, oh, isn't it great that we're turning things around? Yep, exactly. They've got to make it look worse so it can look better later. And I think that's a strong possibility. And so it's not uncommon, it's not uncommon to be upside down on some of your positions or even all of them at some point during this year. And I think that's fine, as long as you have a strategy and you have the right mindset and you're looking to continue to be building, or at least that's what we're doing.
Absolutely. I welcome it, actually, because, me moving to Puerto Rico, as most people know, I am doing that too, this year. I can move into Puerto Rico and I can be like, look, I'm underwater on my portfolio. What do I owe you in taxes? Well, when you're at a loss, you owe zero on taxes.
Right.
You're underwater. So it's like, okay, then that's it. Then that you kind of put your stamp on it, and then you go in, and then anything gains after that, you're in the clear. And if you were to ask me what I want, let us get wrecked for the rest of the year. I'm okay with it. And let us have that December capitulation that some people think we might have, because that would give us the opportunity to keep DCAing. As we're making more money every month, man, I like to put a piece of that money into the market, and that gives me the opportunity to do so. Once we really start taking off, at some point, it's like, okay, the DCA it's not really that effective anymore. It's like,
right. Right.
what is
You're
the
buying at a 50x,
oh yeah, well, yeah, like
you're
you're not
buying
doing
50 times
anything.
higher.
Instead of 50 million pulse, you're buying like 500,000 pulse or five. It's like what you're not
50,000.
making any dents into your portfolio anymore. It's like that money could now be really used elsewhere, and it might continue going up off of 50x. Who knows? But like, let retail come in and do what they're going to do.
Yep. Yep. Agreed. So we've talked previously about a pulse chain DeFi summer of sorts, or at this point we're going to start getting closer to fall. A DeFi end of summer / fall here potentially upon us as the Oracle from Liquid Loans comes online, and as we see that giving life to these other protocols that need something like that to launch. In fact, the PH guys, it sounds like with Fiat, sounds like they'll have Fiat launched this week if all goes according to plan, and they can open up and loosen up the reins, the ability to borrow against your crypto once the Oracle is live. So it's kind of like a scaled release, which is cool. Which is cool. I think there's a lot of wisdom in that. And so Corey, what are your thoughts on? I think there will be a lot of people degenning into new things because they're bored and because the market is doing what it's doing. What do you, in your head, what's a sensible approach to some of this new stuff, especially if let's say at this point you've been educating yourself, you're excited about some of these new things that are coming out. Maybe you didn't get the position that you wanted to from the sacrifice. How are you weighing these and looking at these new things that'll be launching?
So probably the smartest thing for the majority of people to do is to sit back, buy maybe on day one, or try to wait for a correction. Maybe like the law of meme coins, or you could play the law of meme coins. There's something to that, man. I'm telling you guys, if you haven't watched that, go watch B Roots Law of Memes, and I would say about 80 to 90% of new projects launching follow somewhat of that game theory or that stuff he's talking about. It's crazy. So either A, if you got a position that you're happy with, which in a lot of my protocol, a lot of the sacrifices I did, I have a position I'm very happy with. I'll probably, the ones that the protocols I love, I probably won't play the law of means. I don't want to lose my position. So I probably just go and stake my coins. I might accumulate more on day one, maybe not. And then that's it. Sit back. If it's a protocol, maybe I'm trying to get more of. Maybe I do play the law of memes. I buy on day one. I play into the 6-day pump. You sell, and then you buy back in when it when it corrects. But yeah, I mean, you got to be careful. Some of these will take off and do the law of memes and then come back down to earth. And then some, I mean, we saw, like for example, Fox, it launched and it's never came back to
it's ripped
even close to its day one value. And it really sucks because like both me and you were like, oh, this has got to come back down because people are getting free money and they're going to dump it. No, it was like the opposite. It's like, what? Why? How did that work out?
right.
They get free money and they're not dumping it. And I was like, okay. So I wish I could have gone back in time and I could have put maybe a couple grand in it when it launched. But you just never, you don't know what you don't know. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen with Fame because I was getting some thought last night, Dane. Like Fiat, I feel like maybe it didn't happen that much with Fiat and it did happen a little bit. You can see in the chart, but there was not many sacrifices for Fiat. I got fortunate. I sacrificed a Fiat, but I was with a very small group, and I don't even know how I heard about it. A lot of the OG Hexicans were in that sacrifice, and I was blessed to be in it. But it was a very small group, so a lot of people had to buy Fiat as they got more eyeballs on it. Now, Fame, I feel like, is not the same. Fame, he had done a lot of marketing. People knew who Buck was. People knew about the PH team. And a lot more money was sacrificed into Fame than Fiat. So maybe we do see the law of meme coins play out on the Fame protocol. I don't know. It also depends on how much people FOMO into it. But I mean, I feel like if people were FOMOing into Fame, I don't know. I feel like people had they had two chances to get in this protocol, man. They had the initial, and he ran it for quite a while, and he got a pretty large chunk of money. And then he came out with a second sacrifice because he needed Pulse and Pulse X, which is understandable. We didn't have that before.
Right.
Right? We didn't have Pulse and Pulse X before, and they needed it. And so he ran a second sacrifice. And so there's a lot of money has been given out of the market into this protocol. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I just don't know if we're going to see the same dynamic we saw with Fiat because it's just a different. And then Flux, so there was like Flux is a completely different dynamic.
Different.
Completely different. So I don't know if we're going to see the same. And it doesn't mean that we do see like a law of memes type thing play out on it. I don't know, but maybe we don't see the volatility we're I don't know. It's hard to say because they all three protocols were done differently.
Yeah. Well, I think the pH stuff really starts to take a really nice strong foothold once volume comes back to depth.
Oh, it's gonna be great.
Yeah, because all of that stuff is based on volume, and so it'll be cool to see. I think you make a really good point. One of the reasons that I mean you got airdropped a dolphin position for Fux since you had your Fiat staked. That might be another reason to freak.
If I was a maxi, I'd be cussing Buck out for that. By the way, I'd be mad at him and I'll be shit talking him on Twitter.
Yeah, don't give us free money, Buck.
I'd be pissed about.
Right. That makes a lot of sense.
Right.
But man, I mean, I have that in the back of my mind. I think that, and now once again, we're speculation on speculation, but there could be a pretty reasonable airdrop for the people that held their fame, that staked their fame, even where I don't think the passive income on fame is going to be that great initially. And you might benefit from a nice PHUX airdrop. So something to take into account there.
I agree 100%. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see, man, how it all unfolds, and they all have such different dynamics to them. I tell you what, one thing I do, Dane, and this might be helpful for people in the audience, is when I'm looking at a new protocol, depending on how much I like the protocol or how bullish I feel about it, like I always set my goal and target to be a seed creature. As we all in crypto know, we measure our the amount of coins we hold by a seed creature, where a whale's 1%, a shark is 0.1%, dolphin is 0.01%, and then a turtle or squid is 0.20 is 1%, and then it goes, I think, turtle, crab, if I'm not mistaken. Well, I try to find a sea creature that's attainable for me, and I try to go for. And once I hit that sea creature amount of the supply of coins I own, then I've kind of like hit my goal, and I mark it off the checklist, and I go, okay, well, I park that somewhere, whether it's staking or whatever, and I forget about it, and I move on to my next what I'm focusing on. And so, and I've done that a lot with these PH guys in their ecosystems. I'm like, okay, what sea creature do I want to get out of this? And I may hit that goal, and then I'll park it and I'll stake it, and then I'll for the most part forget about it for a while. So that's not how I like to play the game. Is I try to achieve a certain percentage in the coins. So
yeah,
there we go.
Just like you're saying, this is a better visual representation. So this is pulsechain. I feel like this might have been updated. Is this the old one?
It's the old one, yeah, for pulsechain.
Okay. But it gives you the idea. You get the idea here, yeah. Where a whale, 1% shark, 0.1%, so on down. And I think this is a lot easier way to think of things, especially in the bear market, because you could be upside down in your position. You could do different things, but you can say, hey, like I have a goal for a certain amount of ownership in a particular protocol. What do I need to do? How many tokens do I need to get there? And that makes it, something that's achievable, a nice target, something to focus on amidst the volatility that we experience in the bear market.
Absolutely. Now, I would go as far as saying, if you're a dolphin in any protocol, and that protocol takes off and does significantly well, if you're a dolphin, you're going to do really well. If you're a dolphin and above, look at the Hex dolphins. You know what I mean? And
Displayed it,
so,
yeah.
yeah.
Yep, agreed. I like that, and that tends to be me and Corey's goal. We try to be dolphin or shark and just about anything we can that we like, and you can scale it according to your own budget, right? Maybe your budget allows you to be a turtle or a squid or whatever it may be, and you just set your goals and go out for those targets.
Yeah, if
And
you have a
so,
few squid positions that do well, you're going to be okay.
yep, exactly. And you're thinking about your portfolio as a whole, right? Because you're not just having a squid position in one thing. You've got lots of different positions, and you're hoping that you win a lot more than you lose. So that'll be
And
it'll be cool,
you don't have to win 100x on every single one of them,
right?
or a 10,000x, which is the narrative right now, which is absolutely retarded.
Mm-hmm. Well, that narrative's largely gone away. It'll come back here in the next when things heat back up again. In fact, we should be an engagement farming channel where we talk about 10,000x everything, so everybody comes, likes, and subscribes.
Absolutely, I love it.
Right. Cool. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Corey, let's go. We got about 10 more minutes. So, what are some of the things? I mean, we've talked about them at pretty good length. But from updated information or things that are going on right now, I know you and I feel a little bit different about what we think, how we think pulsechain will do compared to some of these other ones. But are there any protocols that you're thinking that could outshine pulsechain in regards to the number of X's that the protocols do? What protocols are you looking forward to here in this potential DeFi summer of pulsechain?
Oh man, well, obviously the pH stuff could do it, and I feel like it's only. I don't feel like anything for the length of the bull run, in my opinion, from now to 2025. I don't think anything will outperform the layer one for the length of the bull run. If you want to talk about the short term, yes, we're going to see stuff.
You don't think anything's going to outperform?
I don't think so.
I mean,
I think
Hex
Paul
is an
Spain's
example of outperforming Ethereum. You don't think anything's going to do something like that?
Only in the short runs. It'll be a little blips. It'll be the short runs. I feel like pulsechain is going to pleasantly surprise us come bull market with all these wells capitulating and all the economic energy on top. As long as we keep going all the way to December, and we have this one more massive leg down. Oh my gosh. You better believe that the farther we go down or the more we run sideways, the more we're going to go up.
Right.
The more we're going to go up. And I mean, oh man, I get more and more bullish by the day. The only thing that that P-Hex, I don't know.
It might, man. It's the dark horse.
P-Hex might be a dark horse on this chain. I don't know. And that law, it will last because it will continue along with pulsechain. But historically, typically nothing outperforms the layer one. Now here's the thing. There will
be some though. There will be some.
But you're not going to pick them. You're not going to be able to pick them.
This is where we vary a little bit.
You're not going to be able to pick them because the ones you think that won't. No, I'd rather have a guaranteed 100x than have 4 or 5 that my 1 or 2 of them might do a 500. And Dane left the building on that one.
Get my blinds adjusted here. There we go. That's better. Red Squirrel says wager time. Let's, like Buck likes to say, let's make a bet.
A gentleman's bet. His gentleman's bet ranged anywhere from a dinner to Applebee's to like $20,000. Dude, the guy's like,
he made one bet that was 40 racks.
It was 40 racks. Oh my god, the guy he'll do that all the way down to Applebee's. I think him and B Roots have an Applebee's bet or something.
I'll make a gentleman's bet. I think one of the pH protocols outperform Pulse this cycle.
Which one? You gotta pick which one. You can't just say all of them.
Come on, Corey. I'm trying to hedge my risk here. What do I think? man,
I think odds are my favor because you're not going to want to pick the. I mean, because you could pick the right. It's like picking a lottery, man. You're going to feel like one of them could. One
that's
of them
fair.
could.
That's fair.
One of them could.
What do you think about David Feeder's feeling of like a 1000x? Are you still feeling like that's within the realm of possibility? Do you think that's very likely in this first cycle?
It depends on how much more capitulation we get. We need more carnage.
Let's say no. Well, okay, let's look at a spectrum then. Let's say like
If
we kind of hang out where we're at. Let's say it kind of ranges here. We don't see one big last capitulation. It just kind of ranges here till the next, like till the bull. What do you think?
Yeah, the length also matters because as we're ranging, it's people capitulating, and then squids and dolphins are buying up that capitulation, and that's what causes the range. Right. You got whales dumping, and you got people coming in and picking up the pieces afterwards. And so if we range all the way to the end of the year, then maybe, I don't know. And if we did 1000x, it would be like a wick, a massive like.
So what's the upside?
It would get slowed down so quick. That would get
so what's the upside then? What are you hoping?
100x, man. I'm
100x.
100x is I'm conservative.
You don't think the pH stuff is going to do more than 100x?
Very short term.
I think all of it will do more than 100. I think I win this bet on any of them.
You think you're winning? So you'll think. So we could pick one, and then we'll take it to 2025, and we'll compare it to pulsechain.
Okay, let's do it. This will be a fun ongoing.
Oh, we got a pH guy in here. So Motley.
Yeah, what's Motley's bet? I'm curious.
Yeah. By 2025, which one outperforms pulsechain? All of them? I would love to hear your input on that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I would say so. Okay, so here's my thoughts off the cuff. I think PHUX is interesting because there was no sacrifice. I think that one has the potential to run hard because of how it was given away for free, how it's built, and like you said, you didn't have a bunch of money in it from the jump. I think you have a bunch of money in fame. But gosh, I like fame, man. I like fame a lot. Did you know that? Well, for the people watching, I realized just recently as I've been doing more digging into how you're short or long on fame because I'm trying to figure out how the protocol works, how the fees are generated.
Oh, yeah,
and it's I think it's an hourly fee. I think it's like 0.00. Is it 3 zeros and a 1? I'll have to go look again. But it's an hourly fee to be in those positions, and that's how GMX was able to generate so much income for the protocol, which is
very similar, Dane. Like when you take a hard money loan on your property, like you're paying interest. Interest is forever. It's forever running because you have that money out. It's kind of the same. You're taking leverage. You're taking a loan, right? And it's like, yeah, same theory.
Yeah. Yep. Paul's asking, no, okay, so we'll keep this. We'll make it an Applebee's bet. This will be for a dinner. How about?
Okay.
It'll be for a dinner. We'll say end of 2025, and I think I'll put my. What do I want to put my stake on? I'll put it on. Man, I think I'll put it on fame. I'll roll a fame for this one. This will be fun.
If I had to pick between the three, I'll tell you, I would have picked fame. I think fame in the short term could do the worst performance, but in the long term, it could do the best performance.
Yeah,
that's what I
think that's a strong take.
The same reason why pulsechain will, because pulsechain has so much economic energy built up right now. It's going to do horrible in the short term, but will do amazing in the long term. That's why out of the three, I picked fame. Fame has the most economic energy raised out of the three, so it will get capitulated first. And then it will, you remove all the guys out of the way, and then it allows the protocol to shine. It allows it to do what it's supposed to do. And so I would have picked fame too, but I will definitely still. All right, 25, Applebee's, pulsechain outperforms fame.
Deal.
That'll be Motley, am I going to lose this bet? But
so cool, guys. In fact, we'll go ahead and wrap up here. But what are you guys thinking as far as post in the comments or things that are gonna outperform Pulse Chain? If there's any that you're thinking, put them in the comments. I'd love to know what you guys are thinking.
I'll tell you what.
Let's go what is.
If Tetra pulls off what they're intending to pull off, I'll be more bullish on Tetra than the PH stuff. If they're successful at what they're trying to accomplish here, this will probably be the most bullish protocol I will be on besides Pulse. But they have to pull it off. You understand? It's a tall order for me. It's a tall order for me. And so that's why it's like, but don't get me wrong, I have a position. But for me, there's a bit of a gamble there for me, and I'm okay with that. Because I know if Stu Man pulls this off, oh gosh, it's gonna be beautiful. It's gonna rip. So yeah, Tetra's up there with me, man. I like it. I like Tetra.
I'm hopeful.
Tetra
could be cool.
Tetra would be cool. It would be really, really cool. Corey, investor, I saw you're in PR real quick. I'm out of PR until I fly back on the 5th of next month. So if you're still around on the 5th of next month, let me know and let's go out and have and maybe we can find an Applebee's.
That's right. Oh man, do you know the inside joke on HXY? What am I missing here? And then Paul says, "I think that joke's over most people's heads."
Yeah, I don't know.
What is it? Not in on this inside joke.
We're not cool enough.
Right. All right. Well, cool, guys. Appreciate you joining. It's always fun to have you guys on. As always, like and subscribe. We're really excited to see what the viewer counts are and what we can do to pump everyone's bags. And once we're back in the bowl, it'll be a lot of fun. So with that, appreciate you guys. We'll catch you later this week.
See you guys.